Okay, welcome everyone to the April 18th Public Council meeting for the town of Conception Bay South. And we'll start as always with our land acknowledgement. The town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan, the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Next, we have adoption of agendas and minutes. So the adoption of the meeting agenda for this evening. Someone want to move that? Moved by Councillor Barrett, seconded by Councillor Hardy. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Adoption of the meeting minutes from April the 4th. Moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Moores. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Okay, business arising from previous minutes will be dealt with tonight and in future meetings, and visitors' presentations and petitions. And tonight we do have one proclamation, and I'm just going to open it up here now. And this is the proclamation for Volunteer Week 2023. Whereas 24 million Canadians give their time through formal or informal types of volunteering, contributing close to 5 billion volunteer hours per year. And whereas volunteers in Conception Bay South mentor our children, support those feeling isolated, beautify our green spaces, and fundraise for our charitable organizations. And whereas volunteers in Conception Bay South have stepped up during COVID-19 pandemic to support families, friends, neighbors, and strangers, people standing up to systemic racism, and people sharing insights on how to create a more just and equitable society. And whereas Conception Bay South volunteers are individuals, families, workers, retirees, community members of all ages and backgrounds, and whereas the collective results of the work done by our town's volunteers is that Conception Bay South is a more desirable place to live. And whereas organizations in Conception Bay South that rely on volunteers include such fundamental groups and activities as local festivals, sports organizations, service clubs, and therefore I, Darren Bent, Mayor of Conception Bay South, do hereby proclaim April 16th to 22nd, 2023 as National Volunteer Week, and urge my fellow citizens to recognize the crucial role played by volunteers in our community. And I know we'll have a lot more to say about volunteers as we go through our meeting this evening. So I'm going to move right along to our guest portion this evening. We have a big gallery of guests in the back of the room, and it's great to have some people in here now. And these folks are from the 4 schools, the 2 junior highs and the 2 senior highs here in Conception Bay South, and they're representatives from the Shield games that were played during Winterfest this year. And they're here to get some money. And the way it works is we share the gate, split it between the teams, or the schools, I guess. So from the gate for the Winterfest Shield games, and we hand it out once a year, and this is that day. So first off, let's call on Councillor Melissa Hardy to come up, and she will be presenting a check to Frank Roberts Junior High, and we'll have the representatives of Frank Roberts come up. And I believe we've got Alex McBeath, Liam Nash, and Sarah Hillier. So for the 3 male and 2 female games played during the junior high challenge, there was a total of 1,116 people in attendance, and the gate split for each of the junior high schools is $849.86. Okay. And next I'll call on Councillor Shelley Moores, and she'll be presenting the check to Villanova Junior High, and we'll have the representatives from Villanova come on up. And I have on my list, and I more than one person here. Here we go, there's 2. I have Gabriel Tucker, Maylee Tapper, and Andrew Cameron, school rep. Andrew. We got Miley Tapper. There you go. So Okay, thank you. And next we have Counselor Gerard Tilley, who's going to present the check to Holy Spirit Senior High. And I believe we have Nick Warren, Josh Villeneuve, and John Lee, but we might have other people. Let's see who we got. Okay. You move over in the front there and get me out of the shot. Yeah. And next we have Queen Elizabeth Senior High. And what it says here is Molly Gill, Logan Butt, and Corey Gill. But whoever's here, come on up. And we have Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss to present the check. And for the 3 male and 2 female games played for the high school challenge, there was a total of 2,868 in attendance. And the gate was split for each school at $3,144.60.
This would have been a good night, Deputy Mayor, to wear that Falcon.
Anyways, thank you all for coming this evening, and congratulations on another great Shield Challenge. Somebody's left the wallet up here. Is that? Oh, that's Counselor Tilley's. It looked really thick, so I knew it must have been yours. Anyway, thank you, folks. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you like, and you're also welcome to go if you like to. So you can choose that, and we'll move right along with the. Thank you, guys. Okay, so the next portion of the meeting is the new business, and I started on my right last time, so I'm going to start on my left this time. Counselor Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. I was getting a bit excited that time. It looked like someone was going to stay to our meeting, but unfortunately not. Oh, we still got one person there. I thought everybody got it left. My apologies. From a Ward 3 perspective, not a lot to bring forward tonight, but overall, I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you to all the countless volunteers in Conception Bay South, this being National Volunteer Weekend. You know, folks go above and beyond. And just there's just too many to mention, too many groups and organizations. So just want to say kudos to all, and we'll be recognizing some of those groups Thursday night at the Main River. And second of all, there's the Dunshill Road Traffic Pilot Project. We do have an online survey, so we strongly encourage residents to go in and give us your feedback, and that's all part of our process, and we'll certainly put that towards the end resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Tilley. Counselor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd also like to thank all the volunteers in our beautiful town. Without them, a lot of things wouldn't go on, and we all know that the heart of the community does come from the volunteers. And anyone who's around this chamber tonight, we've all done it. I mean, it's a stepping stone for a lot of us, really, when we come to run for council. And there's always one thing I said I do, along with all the volunteering I've done. So I just want to extend a thank you to you all, and thanks for everything that you do. And I'd also, at this time, like to extend my sincere condolences to the family of Michael's Jewelry, a locally family-owned business here, on the passing of Sandra. I do know Sandra and Michael, and I know Kim and Brad. And Sandra fought a hard battle, long, and she smiled through it all. She worked through it all. She was always there at the store and always smiling, no matter what. So I just want to say to Michael, Brad, Kim, and your families, I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you, Your Worship.
Yes, thank you, Counselor Butler, and thank you for offering those condolences on behalf of council. Counselor Moores.
Thank you, Mayor Vint. I too will echo a big shout out to all of our volunteers. I have conversations with people all the time, how lucky we are in CBS to have such great volunteers. So thank you, and I hope everyone gets celebrated this week. Also, I'd like to let people know that summer camp registration is opening Thursday, May 18th at 6 p.m. online. Also a huge shout out to all of our hockey teams that participated in provincials here in CBS this weekend. I know a lot of teams were very successful and a lot of fun had by all, which is all that matters at the end of the day. And last but not least, our community egg hunt was a huge success. We had 50 eggs and 9 golden eggs, all that were found and brought back with a lot of great prizes. So it was an excellent event. Thank you, Mayor Bent.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Councillor Barrett.
Yeah, Easter's over now, so I think we could probably drop those references. Yeah, I risk to sound like a broken record. I mean, but we can't say it enough. The volunteers in our community are really second to none. And whether it's theater or parks or community events or whatever the case, there's people time and time again, sports, that always step up in our community. And with it being Volunteer Week, I just want to commend everybody. You know, I think with Councillor Butler, I mean, you're the heartbeat of the community here. And we just want to thank you for your service, past, present, and future service for our community. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Just a couple of things. The Easter social that we had for the seniors not too long ago, it was only a few days ago, went off again really well. They had a nice dance, a nice meal, lots of good laughs. And it's really nice that you can start, I've been to the last few, you can really see the same people come in all the time. So I think it's a real good event that we put off out of town. And even though we did put a small fee onto it, I don't think it has hindered any of our attendance, and people actually thanked us and said it was okay. So just want to let all the recreation people know they're doing an amazing job, and people certainly appreciate it. Easter camp, I did hear from a lot of parents. The Easter camp that we put off this past week was another hit. Had a lot of good conversations with the kids and their parents who attended, so it went really well. We can't talk excellent. I'm trying not to laugh. And it is Volunteer Week. It's also time for us as councillors and just anyone in the community to get out and still volunteer. So one thing I'm trying to do this week, I'll be going out to the Ronald McDonald House and doing the breakfast to go at 6 o'clock Friday morning. So certainly still lots of time to get out and about. I know a lot of businesses are certainly still looking for some folks to do some acts of kindness this week and volunteers. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, a couple of things. Sticking with the theme of Volunteer Week, we just had a group of people here, mostly students who represent their school in hockey and played during our Winterfest. But the people with them tonight were teachers, and sometimes we forget that the teachers are actually volunteers as well. They're here on their own time tonight. They've done their coaching on their own time, and I want to thank them specifically, I guess. Your Worship, the other thing, back a month or so ago, we had our Athlete of the Year event. Our junior female athlete of the year was Anna Snow, and Anna is a kickboxer. In the interim, I've gotten to know Anna's coach, Fred Hollowell, and during that time, they've been away for national championships. And I ran into Fred. I said, Fred, how'd you do it? National champion. He said, we did very well. I said, how about sending me off the list of how you did? So I'll just read from Fred's email. It says, the team was in Niagara Falls. I attached a couple of pictures for your attention. My team is comprised of CBS athletes, and Anna is one of them. Team was in Niagara Falls for the WAKO National Kickboxing Championships. We took home 2 national titles, 2 silver medals, and 5 bronze. And these are the list. Anna Snow, national champion. Fred Holloway, national champion. Hayden Bridger, silver medalist. Isabel Quinton, silver medalist. Megan Reese, double bronze medalist. Dave Roberts, bronze medalist. Amanda Roberts, bronze medalist. Daniel Seymour, just out of medal contention. Katie Oliver, coach. Fred Holloway, head coach. Megan Reese, coach. And he says, thank you all for your support, and that the adults are now preparing for Worlds in Portugal in November. So I congratulate that whole team and certainly wish them luck at the World Championships. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Truly impressive, and it's great to see that level of accomplishment with these young athletes. Deputy Mayor Goss.
On your last, it's slim pickings to talk about, but there's still a few things good things to talk about. Since our last meeting, on April 6th, we had the grand opening of the new Conception Bay South Public Library, which many of us were there. It was a fabulous event. We had a full house, and it was a beautiful sunny day. And it, it made me with lots of special guests from the NL Public Libraries, the Provincial Information Library Resources Board, the chair of the Conception Bay South Public Library Board, our MHAs, and we had special guests. We had the family of Clarence J. Morgan, and this was a dedication of the library building, the naming of the building. Anyway, it was a lovely day. Like I said, if anyone's not been out to the library, it's quite a place it's a beautiful place. It's a real community hub. And it was such a great feeling in the room that day. And I just want to say also, I want to thank the volunteers of Conception Bay South. Over the years, I've been involved in lots of things in the community. As Councillor Butler said, many of us have, and it's a stepping stone to where we are today. And, I've worked with a lot of great people over the years. I had the opportunity to work on the Summer Games in 2016. And when we put the call out for volunteers, they came, 500-600 people. And the same thing when we did the Pinty's Grand Slam of curling and we put the call out, the volunteers came. It's just Conception Bay South has a lot of really community-minded, community-spirited people, and they just want to be part of things, and they want to give back and make their community better. So I just want to say thank you to all the volunteers, and it's a great week to celebrate volunteerism in Conception Bay South. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, absolutely. I say we have the best town in this province because of our people. And, the people that have been volunteering here, some of them before this was a town. And, I met Heber Best as a charter member of the Lions Club, there's 53 years, I believe, and I met some people with the King Club who have been at it for 40 years, 40 plus years, 47 years, I think it was. And, and all these different organizations throughout our community have built the community to what it is now. And they're all people of the same mind. I look around this council table here and see everybody. There's nobody here on this council that hasn't done countless hours of volunteer work over the years. And that echoes out through all of our communities. So many people that give so much time. And some people do volunteer work and don't even think of it as volunteer work. They're just pitching in to help, with this, that, or the other thing. But it's those people, the time and the effort that they give, that gets things done, that moves us forward in a bigger way than most anything else, and certainly in a faster way. When we need to get something done, the people come together really quickly and really, really easily, and happy to do so. So it's going to be great. Again, this week, Thursday night, we're going to recognize some volunteers that some people have decided to nominate, but if we had everybody deserving nominated, we'd have to do it outdoors somewhere, I suppose, find a big softball field somewhere, try and get everybody in, and that probably wouldn't even work. Just a couple other things. I just wanted to say a shout out because I noticed, I know that Councillor Hillier recognized some athletes that were doing really well. I just want to recognize one that's just recently signed on to semi-professional soccer team FC London in the Ontario Women's One League, and that's Lauren Rowe. And if any of you know Lauren Rowe, she is an incredible natural athlete at many, many sports, but she is incredible at soccer. And a big congratulations to Lauren for being recognized. And I think Lauren, if I'm sorry if I say this wrong, I think she's 17. So she's on the early edge, cutting edge of the opportunity to play professional soccer, and all the best to her. And it's great to see her recognized by this top league in Ontario. So congratulations there. The other thing I wanted to mention, just going out, and I think we spoke about it earlier, is that now that it's sunny and warm, people tend to go a little faster than they normally would when there's snow on the ground. And I see it because I live right close to 2 school zones, actually 3 schools. And, we have 30-kilometer zone in our schools now, school zones now. And I just remind everybody to keep an eye for that. I know There wasn't much activity during Easter week because the schools were closed, but they're back again now. So I just ask everybody to just be very careful, mind the speed limits there and everywhere else in town, even on the side streets. Look, it's okay if nothing goes wrong, but if something goes wrong and you can't stop, you can't fix it. It's too late then. So be mindful, please. Okay, we're gonna move on to the business of the residents' recommendations. First off, from the Planning and Development Committee, Chair Councilor Rex Hillier.
Yes, your worship, these are recommendations brought forward from our April 11th committee meeting. First one, 8 Israel Place. Be it so resolved that application number 2628 received March 13th, 2023 for renovation to an accessory building garage with 51.5 square meters lot coverage at 8 Israel Place be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councilor Butler, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6B. Be it so resolved that subject to approval of the Town of Paradise, a request for proposals be issued seeking a qualified consultant to undertake preparation of a feasibility study for a proposed boundary alteration between the towns of Conception Bay South and Paradise in the area of Halliburton Street and Thompson Avenue. So moved.
Seconder, Councilor Barrett, discussion?
Yes, your worship, we've got two areas there. One is in Paradise on Vinland Road, where the parts of the backyards of residents are actually in Conception Bay South. And the other area abuts Halliburton Street, where a future development, I believe there are 8 or 9 lots, where most of the properties in Conception Bay South, the backs of 8 or 9 lots are in Paradise. So what we're trying to do is straighten up that line, and this is one of the it's a process we've been working through since last fall sometime. We're now in a position to call for requests for proposals for feasibility study for that project.
Well, hopefully we can get that worked out. I'd hate to see anybody paying taxes in 2 communities for the same property, so.
Well, you know that crowd in Paradise.
Yeah.
You know what they're like.
Anybody else have any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And your worship, the committee report. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations made at the Planning and Development Committee meeting on April 11th, 2023 be accepted as presented. And the topics that we discussed are listed below.
Seconder, Councilor Tilly, discussion? All in favor?
All right,
Contrary minded? Carried.
that's it for me, your worship.
Thank you, Councilor Hillier. Recommendations of Engineering and Public Works, Councilor Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Be it so resolved, I just have a blanket recommendation this evening. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Engineering and Public Works Committee meeting on April 12th be accepted as presented below. So moved.
Seconder. Council, Deputy Mayor Goss. Discussion?
Yes, just a couple of highlights from some of the discussions we did have. So I'm just turning that. So our capital projects, the water and sewer upgrades, the projects are going to start to commence now on April 24th at Cedar Crest. So notices actually went live on our website just recently. So it's a general reminder that construction season is certainly upon us, and motorists should proceed with caution in construction zones. Certainly pay attention to the rules of the signs and slow down to ensure everyone gets home safely. And a reminder for all residents that have not signed up for the residents alert, you can certainly do so also on our website. Certainly a good reminder when you're traveling through the community, if you know there's certain slowdowns in areas. Second point, recycling. The Multi-Material Stewardship Board has launched a new campaign, Recycle at Home. It's to increase the participation and proper use of curbside recycling programs in Newfoundland and Labrador. Through this campaign, the town of CBS has partnered with the MMSB to encourage residents to join the curbside resolution, certainly to reduce the waste and protect the environment. So we're going to be recycling, sending out some information on the recycling to help educate some of the residents on what can and cannot be recycled. So certainly keep an eye to your mailboxes for that. The Duns Hill Road pilot project, I certainly seen a lot of communication that in the last couple of days on social media and our other platforms. So that survey is live. We're getting ready to approach the 1 year since the introduction of the pilot program. So certainly encourage residents in the vicinity to participate in the survey. See if you want to get your voice heard. And lastly, just a couple of general reminders. Report a pothole. Now that the snow is certainly dissipating here in CBS, where you get a lot more grass that we can see, you can also see some of the potholes that certainly transpired over the winter months. There is a quick, easy tool on our website just to report a pothole, put in description, location, and within a few days, it's normally rectified. So certainly encourage residents to do that. And street sweeping program has commenced. So some residents probably have seen that in their areas that it's out and about. Just so a reminder that the street parking ban still remains in effect till April 30th, and certainly assist with the street sweeping and cleaning following our winter season, because there's a little bit of mess out there with some of the roads. Other than that, that's everything from Engineering Public Works. Thank you, Mayor.
I can't remember now. Did we have a motion or was that discussion? That
That
was
was a big discussion.
We're gonna have to have a vote now, right?
So moved.
Okay, so all in favor? Contrary minded? Okay, thank you, Councillor Hardy. Lots of good information. Okay, recommendations of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee, Councillor Shelley Morris.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I have a blanket statement as well, but I just wanted to mention that in the coming weeks, there will be some information about our community park grand opening. So for everyone to keep an eye out for that, it should be a fun event for everyone. Hopefully coming soon with more information. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee meeting on April 11th, 2023 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hillier, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, Mayor Bent.
Thank you, Councillor Moores. Recommendations from Financial and Administrative Services Committee Chair, Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. So the recommendations of the Financial Administrative Services Committee are as follows. 9A is our accounts payable check register. Be it so resolved that approval be given to approve the payment of accounts payable checks totaling $258,192.58 as presented with the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9B, manual checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks totaling $89,582.80. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9C are direct payments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify direct payments totaling $445,193.75. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Tilly, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Our next item is the 9D capital invoice approval. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $503,078.74 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Morris, discussion?
Mayor, this list is mostly engineering for our projects that have almost finished up. There is an invoice there for our community recreation center. We were doing some concept planning for that center. There is an invoice there for the 2022 streets for claim number 6. It's for $437,293.42 that I'm going to speak to. This refers to a change order that was received. So in 2022, our town completed over $20 million in capital works projects. It was an extremely busy and successful year. Because of good town management throughout these projects, we ended up with approximately $900,000 in net surplus funds. With that being said, I have to touch on one project that did not meet our cost expectations, which was the street upgrading and paving project. Council recently received the first and only change order for this project to the value of approximately $570,000 for extra unforeseen work. The change order detailed unforeseen, unsuitable material, extra stormwater upgrading required on Neal's Line and Dons Hill Road, asphalt patching, plus some other incidental work. To receive a change order at this stage in the project's timeline and for this value is not standard practice. It's not the way the town does business, and it's not how contract work with us is undertaken. We have expressed our disappointment to the engineering consultant and the contractor. It's important, though, to note that change orders are a necessary part of doing business. And many times, as in this case, the work carried out is in the town's best interest. Despite the extra cost to the town will receive a benefit from this additional work scope for many years to come. This change order that's being presented now, is the result of a process error by the consultant and the contractor. The value of this change order is not a total representation of a cost overrun, though, for the entire project. There were savings in other areas of this project, which helps offset this change order. The town has been given assurances and written guidelines that this error in process will not occur again. So that's just to clarify why why we have this big change order at this point in time for this project. And we're bringing it forward as a part of our capital invoice approval.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9E, tax and other receivables adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivable accounts as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion?
Mayor, these are just a couple of businesses that closed out in 2023, and this is just the taxes that would have gone out automatically, and they have signed affidavits and requested credit for the taxes as they're no longer in operation.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Last item is our blanket statement. 9F. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting held on April 11th, 2023 be as accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Moores, discussion?
No, this is all self-explanatory. That's it.
Lots of stuff talked about.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And that's it for Finance and Administrative Services.
Thank you,
Thank-
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
Recommendations of Economic Development and Tourism, Josh Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. Before I bring forward the recommendation, I wanted to provide some commentary on some of the things that we have been discussing at our April 12th committee meeting. One of the things we have, as we have chatted about in council previously in 2023, we are very much pushing forward our unregistered business initiative. And so to provide a quick update on that, it seems as we are just over 150 businesses or entities that are unregistered in the town. And we are putting processes in place to try to minimize that number. to ensure businesses are in a position to avail of the services and programs we offer as well. So to receive maybe business funding or to receive a tender, be eligible for a tender, you need to be registered. Those are some of the services, but also be fair by businesses that are actually registered and playing by the rules and within the town. And so we'll provide periodic updates over this year as we continue to move this agenda forward. Tourism Accommodation Act. And so this has been something the provincial government has been pushing for some time. The Tourism Accommodations Act has been proclaimed, and the province recently announced regulations that are in effect. So this means all short-term rental accommodation operators must register with the Department of Tourism, Culture, Arts, and Recreation by March 31st, 2024. This is short-term accommodations for compensation for lodging for a period of 30 days or less. And there's information online regarding the regulations in the FAQ document on the Government of Newfoundland Labrador website. Something that I will say for us as a council is that for us, what that will mean is that come budget time, council will need to determine a new class in which we can appropriately tax accommodations on Airbnb and VRBO. And so we are continuing to work with the province to ensure that by the time March 31st, 2024 comes around, we are in a position where we understand where those properties are at. We can tax them accordingly. So we will certainly keep individuals apprised of that as we enter the budget season later this year. Something else that I wanted to bring up, we mentioned again in our budget deliberations last year for budget 2023, how public transit is a priority for us, and council remains committed to exploring options for the provision of some sort of public transit within the town. This was discussed again at committee last week, bearing in mind that the capital cost to purchasing these types of vehicles would be quite a high expense. And so we are trying to ensure that we put in place an implementation plan that is sustainable for our town and meets the needs of our residents. And so we're continuing to explore partnership opportunities on how this would look like over the next few months. And hopefully we have more to say on that front soon. And then just a couple more things. Tourism Week, now in its 13th year, National Tourism Week is a week-long national campaign presented by the Tourism Industry Association of Canada to highlight and celebrate the importance of tourism in Canada. The campaign's theme this year is Canada Powered by Tourism. Tourism is a key driver to Canada's prosperity, generating 1 in 10 jobs in the country and contributing 105 billion to the economy. These numbers are pre-pandemic, but we certainly in Conception Bay South, we know tourism is a key driver for us in the community and for our businesses, and we continue to embrace that as an economic driver. We have the snowbirds coming up. We have our town maps, some tourism, local assets for folks to enjoy, and we're going to ramp up the hype about Savor CBS in the coming months, which will be taking place in 9 communities over 9 days in October. So that's some of the discussion. And while this wasn't on committee, I did want to mention green team postings for our town. We chat about this fairly frequently. Those positions are now being advertised on the Conservation Corps for Conception Bay South. So if you are a young person in the town, you want to work with our parks and make a positive difference in our community, I would certainly encourage you to look into that and consider working for the town this summer. So with all of that said, be it so resolved that the recommendations, decisions made at the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting of April 12, 2023 be presented as presented with a list of some of the discussion items listed there below. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy. Any discussion? I think you covered most all of it pretty good there, Councillor Barrett, and lots going on, which is really important to note for sure. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Okay, that's it for the main committees. Does anyone have anything to report from any of the subcommittees that we're members of? Yes, Councillor Morris.
I had a downtown CBS meeting on April 6th. So I think, yeah, that was the first, I guess, official meeting with the new board members. And it was in person and they're normally not in person. So I almost missed it because I thought it was not in person. Anyway, I made it there. One thing that they are doing is they are getting ready to, they have 50th anniversary, town CBS 50th anniversary flags that they will be staggering throughout the community in the downtown area. So that should be happening soon. And they also have like a lot of other things going on that they're working on with really incorporating and getting businesses involved in the community and the 50th anniversary celebrations, which is great to see. So it's just a couple of the highlights from that meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Yeah, anyone else? Okay, barring that, we will be back here again. It'll be May 2nd. I'll ask for a motion for adjournment. Moved by Councillor Tilley, seconded by Councillor Butler. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you and good night.